From early on, Robert and his friend Mike were interested in making money. Dad, can you tell me how I can get rich? This is a question Robert asked his father 60 years ago. His father had a PhD and was an intelligent and educated man, but he couldn't answer his question. His father decided to send Mike and Robert to Mike's father, and this is where Robert's financial education began. Over time, he had learned so much that this wouldn't even fit into one book, but let me explain you some key ideas. 1. What the rich teach their kids about money. Unfortunately, financial education is not taught in schools, so it's the family's task to teach their kids how to deal with money. The problem is that poor parents don't know much about money, and because of this, they will teach their children how to be poor. Robert's two dads were both successful in their careers. They were both working hard, and both were earning a notable amount of money. Nevertheless, one of them was always struggling financially, while the other one was slowly building an empire. Why did that happen? The poor dad would always say, "I can't afford that," while the rich dad asked himself, "How can I afford that?" This is just one of the many examples how their mindset about money differed. We can see the long-term effects of these thoughts, so let's try to learn from Kiyosaki, who learned from his rich father. 2. The necessity of financial knowledge. The most important thing for financial success is financial knowledge. Today's highest building, the Burj Khalifa, has a 50-meter deep basis. This basis is fundamental for the stability of the building and its success. Unfortunately, there are people who try to build their business on a 10-centimeter basis. Obviously, this won't work, and this is why your financial knowledge is so important. You have to know these two words, asset and liability. I will try to explain it to you as easy as possible. An asset is anything that makes you money, whereas a liability is something that takes money away from you. Anything can be an asset or a liability. You can have a house for which you have to pay $1,000 a month, which makes it a liability. And on the other hand, you can have a house which gives you $1,000 a month through rent. Let's look at this example of a man from the middle class. He has a job and he gets a monthly salary. After some years of saving, he could finally buy himself a house financed by the bank. Now, he has acquired a liability for which he is paying interest. This means he is busy paying off his house and all his earnings go to the bank. If he gets an increase in salary, he will buy himself a car, and he will get another liability since he has to pay the insurance and things like maintenance charges. In contrast to him, I will give you the same graph of a wealthy man. The wealthy man invested his money in assets like real estate, businesses, paper assets, and so on. He is now earning additional money, which he will use to acquire new assets, and he will eventually get rich. And yes, if he owns enough assets, he can stop working. Obviously, these diagrams are extremely simplified, but they perfectly show the cash flow between those people. Rich people buy assets. Poor people have expenses. And the middle class buys liabilities, which they think are assets. Number 3. Start now. A lot of people think, what if I lose my money by investing it? And yes, there is risk to be taken, but these people never ask themselves this question when they buy TVs, cars, mobile phones, and so on. The fear of failing should not keep you back from your goals. I would rather invest $2,000 in stocks and lose them, rather than buying myself the best television on the market. Experience makes you smarter, and even if you fail, the knowledge you gain from these investments is extremely valuable and will definitely help you in the future. To end this review, I'll give you the most important things I have learned from the book. Start by investing in your knowledge. Know the difference between an asset and a liability. Aim to acquire assets and limit liabilities. And finally, experience makes you smarter. Don't be afraid of losses. Every one of us is making daily decisions which impact the future. So tell me, which person are you? Are you the one watching TV or the one learning for life?